Today we are ranking the top 10 physiques of the 2025 bodybuilding season. And no, this isn't a simple Olympia recap. Only 2 Olympia physiques made this list because, as usual, many competitors came in far better at their qualifiers or at the Arnold Classic. The timing of the Olympia weekend often throws off peak condition, and 2025 proved that again. So without further ado, let's dive right in. For the 9th and 10th spots, I actually have 3 bodybuilders in contention, which means one of them gets pushed out of the top 10. And just to be clear, each athlete only gets one entry here, their single best version of themselves in 2025. In this case, we're looking at William Bonac with his Detroit Pro look, Tonio Burton with his Olympia package, and Michael Krizo with his British Grand Prix showing. Krizo is actually the only athlete in this video who didn't qualify for the 2025 Olympia, but like I said earlier, a lot of guys simply weren't at their best on the Olympia stage this year. Now, Krizo definitely suffers from having the lowest quality footage, but that British Grand Prix package was the best we've ever seen from him. He clearly brought up some of his biggest weaknesses, especially his glute size and overall conditioning. If all 3 were standing next to each other under the same lighting, I honestly think Krizo would come out on top. So yes, I'm putting Krizo in 9th. That leaves Bonac and Tonio fighting for the final spot in the top 10. Tonio looked awesome at the Olympia. He took 8th place and beat William, who finished 9th. But in Detroit, William was a different animal. He peaked perfectly for that show, and I believe that version of William would have beaten Tonio. So for today's list, William Bonac takes 10th place. The next 3 spots go to Samson Dauda and Brandon Curry with their Arnold Classic versions, and Behrooz Tabani with the look he brought to his Dubai Pro win. Behrooz completely missed his mark at the Olympia, though fortunately, he finally secured his long-awaited US visa and got to compete on the Olympia stage for the first time. He placed 11th there, but with the package he brought to Dubai, I genuinely think he could have pushed for a top 6 finish. However, when we look at Behrooz standing next to Brandon here, it becomes clear that Behrouz's lower body is still a weak point, at least from the front. It even looks like Brandon Curry outmatches him in that area. And Brandon somehow seems to have turned back the clock. His legs might actually be the best they've ever been, even after passing 40. So yes, I expected Behrooz to fare better in this comparison, but I think he loses pretty decisively to both Samson and Brandon. That means his 2025 Dubai Pro version lands in 8th place on today's list. Now, between Samson and Brandon, since these physiques are literally from the same show, the 2025 Arnold Classic, you'd think the decision would be straightforward. Samson took 2nd, Brandon took 4th, but let's talk about Samson for a moment. This was Samson's first appearance after winning the 2024 Mr. Olympia in convincing fashion, and people were expecting a dominant run. But conditioning became an issue again. Derek Lunsford took advantage of that and ended up beating the reigning Mr. Olympia on the Arnold Classic stage. And yes, we'll get to Derek's version later in the video. The problem for Samson is that after this show, he started losing that trademark fullness while trying to chase conditioning. We saw that at the Olympia and at the Prague Pro. He actually looked downsized. I'm sure he wishes he could get back to this Arnold look in terms of fullness, but even here his conditioning still wasn't enough. In my opinion, he was gifted 2nd place. 3rd place finisher Andrew Jack was better, and I'll go even further. This version of Brandon Curry was better than Samson as well. If you follow the footage we're looking at, I think Brandon wins more poses than Samson. So I'm placing Brandon Curry in 6th place and Samson Dauda in 7th on this list of the best physiques of 2025. Battling for the 3rd place spot on the podium are Nick Walker with his Pittsburgh Pro version, Hadi Choopan with his Mr. Olympia look, the only show he competed in for 2025, and Martin Fitzwater with the physique he brought to the 2025 Prague Pro. These 3 physiques are extremely close, but before comparing them directly, I want to address Hadi Choopan for a moment, because I know some fans might be upset. Hadi was not at his best at the Olympia this year, but I still believe he was better than Derek Lunsford overall at that show. The truth is, neither of them was anywhere near their peak. And because the Olympia was the only appearance Hadi made in 2025, he can't place higher than 3rd to 5th on this list. Of course, If we were judging something like his 2024 Arnold Classic version, he'd probably be at the very top. But here's the thing, both Nick Walker and Martin Fitzwater brought not only their best versions of 2025, they brought the best versions of their careers. Neither of them would beat Hadi at his all-time best, but in my opinion, they do beat this 2025 Olympia version of him. So Hadi Choopan lands in 5th place today. Now between Martin and Nick, this one is genuinely close. Martin has the better flow, that's a major advantage. And in Prague, he peaked perfectly. But Nick did the exact same in Pittsburgh, and aside from the front poses, I believe Nick wins every other pose. A lot of them are razor close, but I still give the edge to Nick. So in the end, Nick Walker's Pittsburgh Pro Physique takes 3rd place, while Martin Fitzwater's Prague Pro version earns 4th on our list of the best physiques of 2025. The two best physiques of 2025 in my opinion are Derek Lunsford at the 2025 Arnold Classic and Andrew Jack with his 2025 Romania Pro package. And before we get to Derek, because I can already feel some of you getting heated, I want to start with Andrew. I actually saw this version of Andrew live in Bucharest at the Romania Muscle Fest this year, and man, it was something special. He wasn't as dry as he was at the Olympia, but he brought back that 2024 Texas Pro fullness, came in with an improved back, a stronger, most muscular, and sharper execution in the side poses. Altogether, this Romania package is the best version of Andrew Jack we've seen to date. Now, on to Derek Lunsford. He's one of the most criticized athletes in the sport right now. Part of that is probably because he's been winning a lot lately, but another part is that yes, there are shows where he didn't necessarily deserve the win, and if you follow my channel, you already know my opinions on that. But at the 2025 Arnold Classic, Derek brought one of the best packages of the entire decade in my view. Along with his usual strengths, he came in razor-sharp condition without sacrificing any leg size, which was absolutely lethal. Derek has the best back in the world today, and he's a master of the mandatory poses. When he nails it, he's incredibly hard to beat. Comparing these two isn't easy. Some people dislike seeing two former 212 guys dominating the open class, but Derek's qualities are undeniable when he's on. And on the other side, we have Andrew Jack, a once-in-a-generation physique. He's towering over Derek in height, and he's one of the best of all time in all 4 front poses, especially now that he's improved his most muscular, but he still has issues from the back and side. Yes, he's improving and improving fast, but he's not yet at a truly world-class level in those areas compared to what he brings from the front. Before I started working on this video, I was sure Andrew Jack had the best look of 2025, but I have to be honest with myself first. I've always been a conditioning guy, meaning if a genetically less gifted athlete peaks perfectly, I'll usually favor that physique over a genetic super freak who comes in at 90%, and at the 2025 Arnold Classic, Derek Lunsford peaked perfectly. He was strong from the front, the side and the back. Yes, he has weaknesses, like his biceps and his most muscular, but overall that look was extremely hard to beat. So, even if it's probably unpopular, the 2025 version of Derek Lunsford is to me the best physique of the year. Andrew Jack comes in a very close second, and I genuinely believe he's the favorite to dominate the 2026 season. I think he finally knows exactly what he needs to do, and right now I see him as the frontrunner for the 2026 Mr. Olympia title.